ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनामिने गौरतुसे नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। So we welcome everyone for today's discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Manual of Life. So before we proceed ahead, I would like to ask uh, if some of you can tell us what we discussed yesterday. Yes, please raise your hand. Who would like to unmute themselves and tell us what we discussed yesterday? Anything you remember from our previous session? Yes, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, we learned yesterday that we should make friends and should get along with our relatives, but we should not forget our destination, that is Krishna, that is
Yeah.
going back to our Lord.
Yes. Okay. Good. Very nice. So we discussed about a story of desolate island. So while we are remaining in this world, while we are living here in this world, so of course we should take care of our duties, material duties, studies, jobs, family responsibility, everything. But we should not forget about our ultimate destination in the life. That is also required. Okay, Asa is writing, there is no happiness in this material world until unless we get connected to a spiritual life, a spiritual world, we cannot experience any happiness in this world. So the nature of the nature of happiness in this world is illusory. Its conception is illusory, and whatever happiness which appears to be happiness is actually nothing but absence of miseries in our life. Absence of miseries is considered to be happiness, but that is not actually happiness. So this anybody can experience. Suppose if I ask you a question, suppose some of you are now preparing for board exam, and some of you have also appeared. I think you have appeared in your board exam. So please raise your hand. Those students who have given at least once in their life board exam, either 10th or 12th. Yes, please raise your hand. Okay, Sneha, Riddhi. Okay, so Sneha, can you tell us when you gave your last board exam, what was your feeling? Yes, how did you feel?
Probably it was a feeling of nervousness, anxiety, little bit of stress also.
Yeah, did you feel like that you are able to fly? Did you feel like very light weighted because uh, you got relief from such a hectic schedule, preparing so hard for your board exam? So every one of you might have felt. Those who have not given board exam, they will feel, or otherwise any exam. Every year you give your final exams. So immediately when you complete your last exam, so immediately you feel great relief, isn't it? So that is a kind of happiness you experience. But tell me, is this really happiness? Yes, no, it's not happiness. You are not getting anything. You are simply becoming free from an anxiety, uh, free from this miserable situation that you have to prepare for the exam. So much fear is there, so much anxiety is there, and you haven't covered all your syllabus. and whatever you have covered, you are not sure about whether you will be able to remember it during the exam. So this constant anxiety and fear is there within your mind constantly. Even during when you go to sleep, when you are on the bed, you were sleeping also about some formulas and some all these things, and anxiety is there. Uh, so these things happens. But as soon as your exams are over, you get relief from all this anxiety, fearfulness, and you think that, oh, now I'm happy. But that is not happiness. That is just becoming temporarily becoming free from certain kind of anxiety. But again, immediately after a few months, again you start preparing for another exam. Again, new anxiety, new fearfulness, and again your heart becomes filled with anxieties. So in this way, this conception of happiness in this world is what the gap between two miserable situations is considered to be happiness in this world. But is this really happiness? No, it's just a absence of misery, absence of anxiety and stress, which we consider as happiness. But this is not actually happiness. Happiness, real happiness, something else, which we don't know right now. Are you able to understand? Yes. How many of you are with me, are able to understand this concept? Yes, please raise your hand. How many of you are able to understand this fact? That actually happiness is not there, but only absence of miserable situation appears to us like happiness. Hmm? Only 10, 15 students around. What about others? They are unable to get it. Ah, okay, no problem. As time passes, in future you will able to realize it. Okay, so we'll proceed ahead to our next topic. So we were discussing this. So till now we discussed what are real problems of life, and then we discussed there's no actual solution to the real problems of life through modern technological advancements. So this modern technological advancement gave us only temporary solution. But there is, of course, a permanent solution, and that is Vedic wisdom. So we shall discuss regarding this, which can put a full stop to all our sufferings, especially this mental anxiety, mental disturbances, mental discouragement. This is the biggest problem. One can very easily, or if not very easily, but one can at least try to tolerate, or one can tolerate this physical bodily pains, but it's very, very difficult to be able to go beyond mental disturbances. But actually, it is very easy also. For one who has proper knowledge, it's very easy also. But for one who does not have proper knowledge with this Vedic wisdom, one who doesn't have Vedic wisdom, it's almost next to impossible, because every moment we are dealing with this mind. So every moment you can try to free yourself from mental disturbances, anxiety of this mind for few moments. You can tackle with it. You can mix with your friends, and you can play some games. You can try to engage yourself in worldly activities. In this way, you may forget for time being the mental anxiety and distress. And for doing this only, some of the people they drink alcohol, they smoke, so that even just for the time being they may forget their anxiety and distress. But actually that is not the real solution. Again, as soon as they become free from intoxication, as soon as you become free from your worldly activities and you are alone, then again the same anxiety, depression, disturbances occurs within the mind. And when repeatedly when it occurs, it becomes very difficult to tolerate it. Suppose if I hit you, suppose if I take a small pen, and if I hit you uh, 5 times, 10 times, 50 times, 100 times, so you will be able to tolerate it. But if I keep hitting you thousands times, millions of times, then the time will come when your bone will break down. This is possibility. So similarly, the hitting mind hits us. Mind's bombardment towards us. This constant bombardment is there and constantly hits us, and nobody can stop this hitting until unless he has the proper solution. Just like I'm hitting you with the pen. So the only solution is that you make distance from the pen so that you may not get hit by the pen. The hitting process will go on. You cannot stop me, but you can become aloof from this hitting by the pen. Similarly, the hitting of the mind will come again and again in the form of depression, distress, anxiety, attachment, and previous experiences. All these things will keep coming. You cannot stop that. You don't have the power. That only Krishna can do, of course. He has the power. But what we can do till the time we are not fully surrendered to Krishna, so that Krishna may take our charge, till that time, at least we can do one thing by using this Vedic wisdom. This Vedic wisdom is very powerful. And that actually Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, third chapter. At the end, he explains this concept very nicely. So when we'll go to third chapter, we'll discuss more about it, how one can overcome this mental anxiety and stress, depression, which constantly hampers us. And specifically, Arjuna asked this question at the end of third chapter. Arjuna said, "My dear Krishna, I can control the wind, I can control tsunami, I can change the laws of material nature. Nobody can change." But Arjuna was such a powerful warrior. He told that I can do that, but I cannot at any time control this racing mind. It's very, very difficult, Krishna. So, my dear Krishna, you tell me the solution. Why this mind forces me again and again to do some certain things which I know it is bad, which I know that it will entangle me, but still the mind again runs there. When I think I will not do this, I will not think about all these things, but it's still the mind. The more you decide that I will not think about this, I will not do this activity, the more mind will force you to do those activities and to think about all those things. And in this way, you always remain entangled and suffer a lot, great depression and anxiety. So, what is the solution? So, Arjuna asks, what is the cause? What is the reason why it is happening to me? Please tell us. And then you give me the solution. So Krishna gives the answer. What is the reason? Kamesha krodesha rajo guna samudbhava mahasano mahapapma vidhyenam iha vairinam. Krishna very clearly explains this. Okay, this is lust only, Arjuna. The all-devouring enemy of the living entity. Mahashano. Mahashano means all devouring. It's like great forest fire. Nobody can escape from forest fire. No animal, whether it's bird, snakes, or lion, whatever it may be, nobody can escape. So this lust is like great forest fire, which is ignited within the heart of a living entity. So, and this is generated from mode of passion. So Krishna explains this. So Arjuna, the great personality who had so much self-control, he could not control his mind. He could not control his lust. And this will shall discuss in third chapter in great detail. But just for the sake of giving you this idea that Vedic wisdom can provide you. This Vedic wisdom, means this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita can actually provide you the permanent solution so that you can overcome all the difficulties of life, especially generated from lust. And lust is not just this attraction for opposite sex. Lust has a very, very broad variety. Lust means anything which disturbs your mind, any ambitions, any desires which you keep within the heart and which constantly ignites, which constantly burns like fire and forces a person to commit all kinds of sinful activity. That is actually lust. So anyway, so we are going to discuss about the permanent solution, Vedic wisdom. And then after a few sessions, we'll actually start uh, getting this Vedic wisdom from, especially from Bhagavad Gita. Vedic wisdom, Vedic knowledge, the essence of Vedic knowledge is in Bhagavad Gita. So that will be starting after a few sessions. So Vedic wisdom provides answers to these two most important questions, which the modern education system or modern technological advancement cannot provide us. The first is, why am I suffering? And the second is, what is the goal of life? No amount of modern advancement, researches, scientific development can tell us why am I suffering. And no amount of all this uh, modern development can tell us what is the goal of our life. So first we'll discuss, why am I suffering? Everyone is suffering? Yes or no? Yes. How many of you think that in this world we are suffering? Please raise your hand. Otherwise, I will have to take the previous sessions again. Yes. How many of you think? That's all. Only 20 students out of 45. And rest 25 students. What do you think? You are very happy in this world? Yeah. Okay. So those who have not yet raised their hand, so I request them. You can go through our previous sessions, at least 3-4 sessions, last 3-4 sessions. You hear, you will understand what kind of suffering is there in this world, which we are facing, and which we are going to face, which are coming to us. So everyone is suffering. That's a fact. So now, then we'll proceed ahead. So why do we suffer? What is the reason behind this? We suffer the threefold miseries and four real problems of life because we have turned away from God and are acting sinful against God's laws. This is the root cause of our suffering. Every one of us are suffering threefold miseries known as Adhyatmik Kalesh, Adidavik Kalesh, Adibhautik Kalesh. And four problems of life: Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, birth, death, old age, and disease. And the root cause is because we have turned away from God and we are acting sinfully against God's laws. That is the root cause. For example, when a child who is in the custody of his parents is well protected, nicely situated, but as soon as he leaves the custody of his parents, immediately he suffers a lot. Just like Swarangi, she was mentioning yesterday, the story of frog in the well. So all of you don't know, but those who are from Apex, they have heard this story. I also first time I heard this story. I liked it very much. It's a reality. That's true. That's a fact. So there are I think 4-5 students are there from Apex. So it's a fact. So when the frog was within the well, so he was very nicely protected. But as soon as he got away from the well, his security, uh, his life became miserable. So much so that ultimately he died. Similarly, it happens. This is a very practical thing, and I have seen this in my college life. Till 12th class, the students, they are with their parents, so they are very nicely, very well protected. But nowadays, this is also not the case because of this Android. We have Google Baba. So now even within the students, children, they are living with parents, but still not protected. Why? Because of this Google facility, internet facility. They get entangled into this. But anyway, at least somewhat they are protected because of parents. They cannot act, at least. They cannot go out and do some sinful activity. But as soon as they come out of the school after 12 and they join colleges, they are completely free birds. And this, I have seen this in my college. In first semester, first year, almost more than 90% students, they were very well cultured. Well cultured means They didn't have any bad habit like smoking, drinking, all etc. All these things. But still, there were few 5 to 10% who were more advanced. Even while living in the custody within the custody of their parents, they learned all these things. They were extraordinary. But anyway, around 90% they were well protected. But after 4 years of passing out from college, in the final year, when the survey was taken, it was observed that almost 80% of the students they got addicted to some kind of bad habits, either smoking, drinking, or girlfriend, boyfriend, all these things. And this girlfriend, boyfriend is also a bad habit. This is also a great cause of suffering. Some of you might not understand right now because you think it's very nice, especially when one joins college first year. So he thinks, oh, it's so nice. I have full freedom. I can mix with girls and boys and have fun, everything we can do. But this is not fun. This is actually the greatest kind of suffering. The suffering one experiences by drinking and smoking is still good. It's not good, but it still be tolerated. But suffering because one indulges in this girlfriend boyfriend business, that is great. That gives great anxiety. One can overcome the influence of this habit of drinking, smoking, uh, uh, but one cannot practically overcome the anxiety generated from this thing, especially those who are students who are below 12th class and even in the college. So I request them, do not ever get involved in this business. That's why we go to college, we do BCom, Bachelor of Commerce, we do BTech, Bachelor of Technology, BE, Bachelor of Engineering, BSc, Bachelor of Science, everywhere Bachelor, Bachelor, Bachelor. So remain bachelor till the time you get your degree and get good job, and then afterwards you very nicely you get married and have a good relationship with your husband wife and lead a pure life. That is not nowhere in the scriptures it is said that one cannot get married. No, no, you can get married, no problem, but don't do it before because that will become cause for your distress, suffering. But unfortunately, because of not given the training, the society, even parents, they don't protect, they don't teach. So the students, when they go out, there's no subject like this where these things are taught to students. Rather, all this modern this education system, they encourage mixing of girls and boys, co-education system. And even there are hostels in India where in one hostel, girls and boys live together. Just imagine what kind of havoc will happen. Uh, in Western countries, it happens, but in India also, it has started. So this is such a great disturbances to the youth of our nation. So anyway, but this is important thing. So when we go away from, just like when we go away from parents, there is we suffer. So similarly, we being the children of God, when we go away from Him and we break His laws, so that becomes a cause of our suffering. That's why anyone who is within this material world, everyone who has this material body, that means he has run away from God and he has acted sinfully against God's will, against God's laws. And that is why uh, we are suffering in this world, threefold miseries and four real problems. This is the root cause of our suffering. So, if the root cause of our suffering is that we have left the company of God, association of God, so the solution is also very simple. That's why I said, okay, although it's very difficult, impossible, but it's very simple also. For one who has this wisdom, one who understands this. So that is why all material problems, there is very simple, perfect spiritual solutions. So when we align ourselves again with God, that will help us overcome suffering. So this is the very simple way to eradicate all our sufferings. What is that? We should start aligning ourselves with God. The more early we start ourselves, we keep ourselves in the association of God, Krishna, through the association of devotees by hearing about him, by chanting his name. So the more we are saved from material miseries, the more we waste our time, the more we become late in getting connected to God, the more will be difficulty. Just like I got connected to Bhagavad Gita, teachings of Bhagavad Gita at the age of 19. That is still late. Uh, But fortunately, I got connected and I was at the verge of getting deviated. I was in first semester, first year. But immediately, Krishna is so merciful that he saw that this foolish boy, he is so enthusiastic. He has so enthusiastically entered into the college as if he is going to become a great scientist. Let me save him. Let me give him the real science, knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So he very mercifully, kindly saved me. Similarly, all of you, especially those students who are in seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th class, they are very fortunate that you are getting the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, opportunity to get knowledge of Bhagavad Gita right now, so that you can become, you can develop this Vedic wisdom, so that you may not get entangled in all these kind of miserable situation. So it's a very nice thing. So I request you, don't discontinue it. Come and regularly hear. It will be a great help. Don't think it will be a waste of time, because if your mind is uncontrolled, so anyway, if your mind is uncontrolled, it will drag you towards wrong thing. You will watch YouTube videos. You will engage yourself in unnecessary playing games and Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, WhatsApp, and unnecessary gossip, movies, uh, hearing filmy songs, all these things. So time will get wasted. It's not that you can save your entire time, 24 hours, you can study and you can do anything. No. But if you just give this 30 minutes every day, it will help you. It will give you such nice wisdom that you will be, through this wisdom, you will be able to regulate your time. You will be able to nicely manage your time, so that you don't waste your time anywhere, and you focus on your studies or job or responsibilities nicely. So this is such a great help. So every one of you should take full advantage of this. Don't miss it. So we'll discuss about this more in the next session. So today we just discussed the root cause of our suffering. And day before yesterday, from last 2 3 sessions, we discussed about our sufferings. What are the real problems of life? Threefold misery, miserable situations. And then today we discuss why we are suffering and what is the solution. So tomorrow we'll discuss. It's not just about suffering, getting away from suffering, because some of you might think, oh, Prabhuji, okay, Vedic wisdom can give a solution to our problems, but I don't have any problem. I don't suffer. My mind and senses are fully under my control. But actually, that is not true. You might feel like this right now because you are well protected in the custody of your parents. Your parents might have given you nice training, so you are in mode of goodness. You are able to control your mind and sense. You don't have any bad habits. But that does not guarantee that in the future also you remain safe. That's why, from the future point of view, also we should be ready, eager to take Vedic wisdom. But another reason is, which we shall discuss tomorrow, another reason is not just to free us from these problems or suffering of present life, but actually we have ultimate goal of life. Nobody is going to stay forever in this material world. That's a fact. Everyone knows. So one should inquire. So what is the goal of my life? Where I'm supposed to go after death? So that is also an important question. You cannot just neglect it. So that should also be taken care. And through this Vedic wisdom, we will understand the ultimate goal of life also. So this we'll shall discuss tomorrow. So thank you very much. So I expect some questions from all of you. We have 10 minutes around. Yes. Anybody has any questions, please ask. This means that we remember Krishna every day, every moment, and we serve him. Janmashtami means we serve Krishna, we remember him, and we pray to him, we beg for his mercy. So that is the business of a devotee, which should be done every moment. Okay, so of course you can celebrate Janmashtami on 27 too. You chant Hare Krishna more and remember Krishna, read about Krishna, Bhagavad Gita. There is very nice book written by Srila Prabhupada, Krishna book, in which you will find so many wonderful pastimes of Krishna. You can read that and chant Hare Krishna. Come to temple, have darshan of the Lord. In this way, engage your time. So whenever you have extra time, you engage your time in Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, Maya consciousness is by default, it's there. Okay, anyway, Hare Krishna. Is anything else? I hope.
Yeah. So, Prabhuji, as you were explaining us about the 4 real problems and 3 more problems. So, suppose if I already have so much suffering, so many other problems, and you told us about more problems which we are not aware about. So, this will ultimately, increase my anxiety. Like there are already a problem, and now I'm getting knowledge about more
Other
problems.
Okay.
So how
Okay.
will it generate ultimately benefit me? Why should I
Yeah.
bother about all these things?
Okay, very nice. Good question. So it's not that we want to make you fearful. We want to means discourage you, but we want to show you the reality so that you may accordingly prepare for the best thing. And just like when your exams come, so your parents, your teachers, they keep reminding you that, my dear boy, my dear girl, after 15 days, you have exams, final exams. What are you doing? You are simply wasting your time in unnecessary this YouTube, Facebook, WhatsApp playing. So why don't you study? So after each and every hour, parents that keep telling us, oh, after 15 days you have exam. After 15 days you have exam. In your last exam in mathematics you failed. You remember? So the child says, oh, my dear mother, are you my mother or my enemy? You always give so much negative news. Exam is there. You make me fearful. No, that is not the purpose of your mother to make you fearful. The purpose of your mother is to make you realize the reality that exams are going to come and you have not prepared it for. So, my dear boy and girl, please prepare. So that is the purpose. So Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains the above situation. But there are many positive news, positivities are there. But in order to be able to release, to understand the positive side of Krishna consciousness, the bliss of performing Krishna bhakti, one has to understand his terrible situation in this material world. What is our situation in this world? So that's why it is also required. That will help you. Okay.
Prabhuji,
Hare
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes, it is.
Prabhuji, just
how is it a generated gap?
Generated gap means uh, the society, the education system, and association in which we are living right now, this media, association of media, and in fact, parents are also involved, and all these things, they have purposefully generated this gap from Vedic wisdom. That's why anyone who comes and tells us reality speaks a straightforward truth to us, which is actually beneficial for us. So it is generation gap. That means they are outdated. They can't connect with the students. In one of the institute I went and I was explaining these things, which is obviously connected with the students for in terms of their mental anxiety and concentration. But the teacher could not understand. He said, Prabhuji, you need to give students which they require. They require their concentration of mind, focus of mind. So I said, so what is the root cause of their having a distracted focus? distracted mind. What is the cause? Can you tell us? When he told, then I explained. So whatever I have explained, that will help them to become concentrated on their studies, and not just studies. Our purpose is not just to make you focus and concentrated on studies. That will happen automatically, no doubt about it. But our purpose is to make you focused in your life, in your life, to achieve real happiness, not just get some degree and again become distressful. What is the use? There are so many very well educated, very intelligent, high class students in IITs, they commit suicide. When I was in the college, every year, at least few students, they used to jump from the top of the hostel building and they used to commit suicide. And most of the cases were because of this breakup from girlfriend, boyfriend. This was the most reason, because they were all intelligent boys and girls. So there was no question of anxiety from studies. They were very intelligent. But only because of this. uh, that's why I said, don't don't become engaged in this. It will hamper all your material life as well as it may take your life as well. It's so dangerous because once this attachment knot is generated, it's very difficult to overcome. But it can be, because Krishna is more powerful than any kind of material attachments. If one is very determined, he takes firm shelter of Krishna, he can overcome all these difficulties. But this is the reason we are trying our best to approach college youths. But unfortunately, we approach college youths, but nowadays they are already degraded. So we decided to approach now students, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th students, so that now they are saved, so they can be properly guided, so that they may not get exposed to all these nonsense things and destroy their career. So this is our business. So we are trying. Okay. So thank you very much. We'll stop here. Time is up. Okay. So hope to meet you again tomorrow. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram.
Pranam.